Welcome to another video from Gradelink websites. In this tutorial we're going to walk through how you can eliminate items from a list manually. So in this case we have a summer camp registration form, and the goal is to go in and manually remove an item from the weekly selections. The school might want to close registration for a particular week, perhaps 2 weeks ahead of time. And so we want to remove this, but without messing up the existing data on the back end. Because if you go into the form and actually fully remove this, then it'll delete data, valuable data that was collected through the registration process previously. So in order to eliminate that possibility, we want to follow this procedure that we're going to go through right now. To make sure that it's hidden so additional parents can't register after the deadline is passed, and at the same time keep all the data that we previously collected prior to hiding that week. So the first step is to head over to the back end of the site. Again, you can get there by clicking on the name of the school in the upper left hand corner, and we're going to go to forms, and the weekly registration in this case is located on this form, Summer Camp Registration V2. So we're going to scroll down to the weekly options, and just a quick background on the way this particular form is set up is we have weekly selections, but there's conditional logic set up so that these weekly options, because they have different pricing prior to May 1st, this is the one with the pricing. If we look at edit choices, this is the pricing prior to week 1, and this one contains pricing after May 1st. So there's conditional. That's why we have a bunch of the weekly selections. There's also another category of students. So in order to differentiate pricing, that's why we have so many weekly selections here. But that aside, it's important to realize that because you need to make the adjustment for every single one of these items as you want to hide them. So in order to, let's suppose that it's now reached the deadline when we want to hide the first week. So what we want to do is first select the weekly selections, then from within the general tab for this, so select it, open up the general tab for the field that we've selected, scroll down a bit and click on edit choices, then check the box for enable limits, and we're going to want to put 0 for the limit. Again, this is the one for prior to 5-1 for the regular students, not the international ones. And then for the rest of these, we could put a really high number, 9,000, so that way we don't run out of registrations. Because technically you can put numbers in here, like if you put 1, then only one person would be able to register for that. But since that's not our goal, we're going with 0 and 9,000, so that means that we can be selected 9,000 times. And if we adjust the number to 0, it will automatically hide it. So going back here, if we go to, we may need to fill out the form again because sometimes the cache doesn't update. Oh no, it did it. So you can see now on weekly selections, since we put the limit to 0, the first week, week 1, is now disappeared from the form. Now remember, we do need to, if we set it back to 9,000 for week 1, we go check on the form and refresh that page. Week 1 is now back in business. And remember, we do need to set this up for every single one of the weekly selections. The one for post May 1st. So we're going to enable weekly limits. So again, the key is going to be once you arrive at the deadline for hiding a particular week, set the limit to 0 on the form for that particular week, and it will no longer display for parents to be able to register. And this could be applied across a range of scenarios, of course, but in this instance, this is what works. So So we're going to put 9,000 as the limit for every single one of these options, and you simply need to set the limit to 0 once you're done with that particular week. Now, because in this tutorial video we have already turned on limits, if you go back in, all of these limits will be visible already. Alright, so we've gone and made all of those and set them up properly. So the key is just to manually go in and set the limit to 0 when a week is done. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial video, and please reach out to Gradelink website support with any additional questions.